Righty-ho, we are here. Peter and I, you can't see Peter, can you? There we go, there's Peter. Yes, we're here for live chat. We're going to go back to the pause screen just for a moment. We've got about a minute left of a track, and then we'll come out of that, and then we'll come over to you, and we'll do some chat and stuff. You can get in touch with us if you want to. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment away on there. Yeah, you can say hello if you'd like. We're going to be thinking about things we're thankful for shortly, but for now, back to the music, unless you're watching, in which case you can't hear it. Unless you're listening to it as you watch, and they'll be slightly out of sync, which would be less good. One or t'other. Enjoy the music, then come back here.
Unless you figured out how to get it in sync.
Or mute this until the song finishes and then come back to this. For more simple, enjoyable life tips, find somewhere else. Back in a minute. Word. I think it's better when we actually talk when the music stops.
To be fair, that's not my fault, not my bad, because I don't have the power to click any buttons. In my defense.
Well, I was trying to fix them on the computer at the same time, so we have got a few computers working away to make this happen. Hello, welcome to the Get Your Home Show. It's gone 4:05. Peter and I are here I'm here till 6, 3 till 6 every weekday, and Peter joins me on a Friday for an hour, and now we do it on video
as well. Yes,
Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Oops. Yes, we're doing that. So welcome to the show. Peter, how are you today before we get into this?
I'm doing quite well, I think, actually.
Okay, we're going to get into 3 things we're thankful for shortly. But just what are you thankful for before you got into the show? Was there anything happen in the last, let's go really recent, in the last 20 minutes, something that you're thankful for before you came to the show?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
The last 20 minutes.
It occurred to me.
Okay. Oh, that's really good, actually. I don't know, I was doing a lot of things in the last 20 minutes. Lots to be grateful for, I suppose.
Shall I give you one?
Okay.
The fact that I can close the curtains with a peg. It's a really, really simple thing, but when we're preparing for this part of the show, we have to black out the curtain because there's too much light behind Peter, so it would make the camera look awful. So we have got some blackout curtains, and we can close those, but we have a little peg. And it's a really, really small thing, but in 2 ways. But I can peg the curtain, fold it over slightly, and then it doesn't wreck what you can see on the camera.
That is good.
Simplest of things.
I think actually, in the last 20 minutes, I'm thankful for windows, because we had the windows open. Unfortunately, that meant the curtains were being sucked a lot and moving. So fortunately, we were able to put the windows on the latch. So I'm thankful for windows and being able to put said window on the latch. So it's just a little bit open, but not fully.
Which is what you've done behind us. Otherwise, the curtains were going a little bit crazy.
And that peg pro wouldn't have been able to cope.
No, there are limits. I don't think you're quite in the right place. Let me just move the camera ever so slightly.
Live radio this and live video as well.
There we go.
Getting it all sorted.
Yes, it's
very
good.
We have a very advanced camera adjustment system.
It's ridiculously advanced. It's an amazing shelf with a sticky bit and some not Velcro. It's actually cable ties holding the camera in place.
Yeah, I mean, how many camera companies have made a tripod that can actually work as a shelving unit as well as a camera?
I think
tripod.
There's a gap in the market, and I think we've done it. I haven't got a photo, but yes, it is a shelf.
Yeah, we could market that pure tripods or something.
Pure rubbish. No, it works though.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Actually, what I'm most impressed by is I used a screw to create an angle for the camera. I know we've explained this before, but if you can imagine, if you've got 2 flat pieces of something,
I got a coaster.
Can I borrow a coaster?
Here you go. Here's a coaster.
If you can imagine that this coaster, right? This coaster is a flat piece of wood, basically sticking up. If you can imagine that this is then the camera, right? If you want the camera to look a certain way, all right, you've got a problem, haven't you? In fact, it's a bit easier if I do that. If you want it to look a certain way, it's quite hard because all it ever wants to do is go flat on the thing. So I put a little screw, which I'm going to pretend to be a screw with my little finger, and then what it does is it creates an angle.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done. So it's actually, you can make a bigger angle or a smaller angle, And if the camera is pointing out the front of there, you can see why it works.
Mm. So
That's probably not the greatest of explanations, but hey.
well, I understood what you said. I think.
I understood
Pretty
it
sure.
perfectly because I can see it. I mean, I'm looking at it and it looks really obvious.
Yes. Well, we can actually see behind the scenes of how we angle it.
Yes, behind the radio magic. So, Peter, what are you thankful for?
Yeah. Well, I said I was thankful for windows.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Being able to open them and have air, which is always
But
good.
specifically on the latch.
Yeah, that is very helpful because that way you can securely have the window open. Because sometimes it's been so windy, the window is being slammed shut or pulled open. But you can just put it on the latch, it's secure, and you've got air, which is always good.
It is. And where we live, because it's in the middle of nowhere, we don't really have any neighbours. Well, we have no neighbours for like miles. It gets very breezy and windy because when the wind like blows, there's nothing to stop the wind because it's just farming fields. So we find that where the studio is, it can get a little bit gusty, especially if you've got windows open on the opposite side of the house. The fact you can, this is the whole point of this feature. This is exactly it. The fact that you can actually put a window and shut it so it's slightly ajar, but it can't be ripped open or shut, and you get a little trickle of air is something to be thankful for.
Yes, and vents, because that way you can ventilate the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the point about being thankful. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It can be the fact you can lock a window slightly open so it can't be opened or shut. The fact we've got a little peg for a curtain, something I'm thankful for. It is so important to be thankful.
Yes.
It really is. We keep on going on about this. In fact, I was having a conversation with someone the other day and they said, you know, you're so good at this, Andy, at trying to get people to be thankful. And we're talking about a window locking mechanism, which is not very exciting. It's a very boring subject. However, the fact that you can actually open a window is something you're thankful for. That is everything exactly that we are talking about here. It doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. It just has to be something you're thankful for, and it changes your outlook on life.
Yeah.
It's that simple. That's why we do this. Now, we've got 3 things we're thankful for in this hour, and we've got some new studies. Have we found some new studies?
Just checking. Yes, we have got some new studies.
We have.
Yes.
I passed on the onion juice to make hair grow back story, such
Yeah.
as it is, to Richard Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be having a look at that one. Not next week, but he'll be having a look at it because, honestly, I don't believe it.
And if it does work, I'm not sure you really want to be going about smelling like onions. That's not really. Then it's not going to be the new perfume smell kind of thing, is it?
No, people getting ready to go out on a Friday night for a meal or, you know, whatever they're going to do. You're not going to put something on that stinks and that people don't want to come near you for.
Pretty
You
much.
want to smell good. You want to have a shower and smell clean. Do your hair. Use some soap, some shampoo, and you want to smell nice and clean. Maybe some perfume or some deodorant or whatever you're going to stick on. Onion juice.
That's not good. That's not good.
It's not a good look. Unless you're an ogre, when it makes perfect sense, or you're living in the Monster Land, Monsters Inc.
Inc.
land, then it makes perfect sense because it would be a good smell to you. But generally speaking, no.
No, not really.
And here's the thing: what happens if you got a cut? Does it hurt?
Oh,
Is
that.
it like citric acid? Is it like lemon juice? Does that hurt?
Well, I
Does
mean,
onion hurt if it gets into a cut?
onion hurts when you cut it and a little droplet goes in your eye.
No, but if you get like onion juice, does it hurt like a lemon does?
I'd imagine it would hurt a fair bit, especially onions. Although I suppose you get stronger onions and weaker onions. You get white onions and red onions. That kind
I'm
of thing.
googling the answer.
Okay. Well, I know lemon juice hurts, and if you want to find out if you've got a cut, just chop some lemons, and you'll find out.
Oh, interesting. So, I can't see that it'll hurt, and I've never done it to know, but it can create an irritation or a potential infection.
That is something to look out for. We might find out more from Dr. Scott, though.
Using an onion on a wound may introduce bacteria and delay the healing process.
That's interesting. But I suppose if your body is used to experiencing bacteria, an onion wouldn't necessarily do any harm because it is important for the body to know how to fight bacteria.
Yes, but if you have an open wound and put onion in it, it'll hurt. So then, if you scratch your head and open up a tiny little scratch, and then you put that onion juice on your head, you could potentially, therefore, be at risk of possibly introducing an infection. I had no idea that onions could do that.
I would not have expected it either.
I've just read it on the internet, so it has to be something that might be true.
Internet never lies.
Well, yes, it does. Right, let's move on. So we've done an extra something you're thankful for in the last 20 minutes. And we've had a couple of things which I'm just going to find and read out before we go into it ourselves. So Andy Godfrey and Jill Sleebush both got in. Facebook is being so slow today. It's just mad. And now it's not even appearing with the comments that I've already seen. Oh. Not first world problems. This is actually genuinely annoying. Right, stuff that way doing it. We'll do it this way instead.
Okay.
Right, here we go. Things you're thankful for. So Jill Sleebush said, my youngest grandson for a sleepover.
Oh, that's good.
Cool. So it's a sleepover with a grandson. That sounds good fun. It does. Get some games, videos, marshmallows. Depending on the age of the child, although a 22-year-old grandson, a 52-year-old grandson, or a 2-year-old grandson would probably quite be happy with, munchies.
Marshmallow, yep, that would work probably.
And then Andy Godfrey said, thankful for a hospital bed was free for my mum exactly when we needed it, plus a care home place has been provided for when she leaves hospital. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I know Andy's been struggling with a lot of stuff, trying to help his mum out at the moment. So that's really good to know. Thank you for sharing with us. You've done yours, I've done mine. And I think it's probably time now to get into this proper. This is the easiest section of the show. When we have a little bit of time just thinking about things that we are thankful for. It's not complicated. It's very simple. Each of us simply gives 3 things we're thankful for, and no one ever gets confused.
Yeah, we'll go with that, shall we?
We'll go with that, shall we? Okay, so Peter, would you like to start? We'll keep it simple. We won't do what we normally do, get complicated. If you just do yours, and then I'll do mine, and we'll jump back and forth, and it'll be really easy.
That's what we do every single time, but it still ends up complicated.
Yes, well, you do your 3, and I'll do my 3, which is yours, then mine, then yours, and mine, then yours, and mine, which means you'll have done 3, I'll have done 3, which is 6. When you get to your second, and I've done my first, we're halfway through, but neither of us is actually halfway through. It gets very silly. Maths ain't mathing.
I mean, it's not like you can do half a thank you. So you do 1.5 thank yous. That doesn't really work.
And I'm thankful for. Tell you in a minute. That's not going to work.
It doesn't work, does it? I mean,
no. Well, I mean, it could do.
Yeah. Let's not try and overcomplicate it with
maybe
half thank
bated
yous.
breath is what you like. Having bated breath might be what you like. So I'm thankful for might be a perfect thing to be thankful for.
Okay.
If the next line is bated breath.
Well, let's try to avoid complication. The first thing I'm thankful actually for a slightly different hot chocolate flavour this time around. This time around,
Ooh,
I've got dark.
Now, this gets exciting. Hot chocolate flavours, let's be honest, everybody has their favourite. What was last week's hot chocolate, first of all? Let's go there.
Well, actually, we both had a different one. I had a normal, I think, what was it? It's just a milk hot chocolate kind of thing, and yours was a dark hot chocolate.
Okay, what have you? So yours last week was milk chocolate. What's your hot chocolate flavour this week?
We both got dark hot chocolate.
Dark hot chocolate.
Yes.
Without mentioning a name, this is from a gift from someone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was last week's a branded one that we bought?
For me, it was, yes.
In the supermarket, the purple one. Everyone knows the one I'm talking about. That one.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm having a hot chocolate that's got dark chocolate flavour.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we've sorted that out.
Not going to say the name, but thank you to the gift giver who sent us hot chocolate.
Yes. So, very much enjoying a slightly different flavour of hot chocolate. Because I don't think I've actually tried this one yet.
Yeah, it's very good.
You're very happy about it as well.
I'm very happy about that one. Did you ask a question that went to Dr. Richard Scott, or was that somebody else, about hot drinks making us cool? Was that you?
I don't think I asked that, no.
Where's that question? Don't remember. Was it a Tuesday? Was it a
Tuesday.
Wednesday? Does it matter? Who cares? Hot chocolate, are you enjoying that?
I haven't actually tried it yet.
Oh, well, give it a try then.
Okay. This is a live video, this.
Yeah, Peter's now drinking out of his Sully mug from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, that's quite nice. The thing with dark chocolate is it's sort of like chocolate but stronger, as opposed to milk chocolate, which is weaker.
Or more like real chocolate.
Or that, yes. You can go with
Arguably,
that.
because when you get dark chocolate, you have less other ingredients and more of the actual cocoa.
That's true.
So the dark chocolate, I think, is generally 60-70%, whereas the milk chocolate could be like 4.
Well, no, that would be white chocolate, I think.
Would it?
Yeah, I think white chocolate does technically have cocoa, although you don't. It's so little, it's sort of pointless in some ways.
I'm having a little bit of a look on side.
See,
there's percentage. It's measured in percentages, right? So there's so much percentage is milk, so much is dark, so much is white. No, that's not helpful. That's completely useless. No, not telling me. When does let's try that. When does dark chocolate become milk chocolate? We're answering the questions of the age here.
Super important stuff, this. And again, returning to social media, to the looking online for it, Googling it, as it were.
For you. So dark chocolate is sugar, cocoa powder, and butter. Milk chocolate is sugar, cocoa powder, butter, and milk. And then white chocolate is milk, sugar, and cocoa butter. So basically no chocolate.
So, well, okay, so basically...
Is that right?
That makes sense. So basically dark chocolate's got cocoa powder and cocoa butter, but like just milk chocolate has got a little bit extra of less of like milk or something. I don't know. Not making much sense this time around. Basically, dark chocolate is darker because it's got more cocoa, got milk chocolate, and then you got white chocolate, which isn't really chocolate as such.
Here we go. This is what I was trying to find earlier. 70% dark chocolate. Oh, that's just telling me if it's 70% dark chocolate, 30% is something else. Well, that's really super helpful.
Yes, we could figure that
Who
out
wrote
on
that
our
down?
own.
If it's 70% of dark chocolate, that means 30% is not. Wow. I would never have thought that in a million years, he said, never. So dark chocolate, 40 to 100%.
Okay.
So you've got white, not chocolate. You've got white sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
You've got white sugar with essence of cocoa flavouring. You've got milk chocolate, which is 40% and below, it would appear. And then 40 to 100%, I'm reading, is dark chocolate. But in UK, it's 50% to 100 is dark chocolate.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So dark chocolate around the world, it can be 40. It's a 60% out of 100. But in the UK, it's going to be at least half cocoa, solid.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, I suppose.
So-
I don't know.
So what was our thought about what is white chocolate?
Oh, yeah,
What is has white chocolate got any cocoa in it?
Well, it's sort of like sometimes you bake a cake, you might use some vanilla extract. It doesn't
Is
make
white chocolate actually chocolate? Yes, that's the question I was asking. There's no. I love the fact that they ask a question and they go on for ages about the question. It's like, can you answer the question? Because that's what we're here for.
So just yes or no.
So, is it actually chocolate? Well, we're not going to tell you. Utterly useless. Stupid. Right, let's try and find a better answer. Is white chocolate
I think
actually
we might be thankful today.
chocolate? Do you know, you couldn't get better radio than this on there. There's no one else doing what we're doing right now.
Okay.
So, white chocolate is technically classified as chocolate, although it differs from traditional milk and dark chocolate due to its lack of cocoa, otherwise known as the chocolatey bit.
Well, no, it says cocoa solids. So presumably it's more got traces of cocoa. So I suppose if you know how to do sciencey stuff, you could take a white bar of chocolate and, well, a white bar of something or other and find traces of cocoa on it.
So it would appear, therefore, the conclusion is white chocolate doesn't fit a conventional thought on what chocolate is, which is cocoa solids, but it does have cocoa butter, which sort of comes from cocoa, but isn't quite the chocolatey flavour. So if you like white chocolate, actually what you're saying is I don't like chocolate. That's how I read that.
Well, my thinking is if you make a cake, you might use some vanilla extract to give it a little bit extra flavour.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it a vanilla cake. It's still just a simple smudge cake. It happens to have vanilla extract in it. So basically, it has cocoa essence extract in it.
So apparently, according to legal definitions on a chocolate site I'm looking at, legally, white chocolate is chocolate because it has cocoa bits in it.
Okay, but
Which is why they can call it chocolate, even though it actually doesn't taste in any way, shape, or form of chocolate. But it's legally called chocolate that's white, because it's white in colour, because it has elements of cocoa.
yeah, I don't think white chocolate is chocolate. It's basically a white substance which has traces.
Do you know, chocolate's really
cocoa
expensive.
powder.
And if you don't like chocolate, but you like white chocolate, I have a really good solution. Do you know what it is?
What's that?
Have a glass of milk
That is a good suggestion, and it's
while
probably healthier.
smelling dark chocolate.
Well, it's
Then you
actually
get the best of both worlds. You get to look at the dark chocolate while smelling nothing other than dark chocolate and drinking milk.
yeah. Although
I should be like a top chef.
yeah, I want chocolate but without cocoa. Here's a glass of milk. I'm not sure if
It's
that's
like
quite the
having a
solution.
meatless beef burger. Right, so it's not a beef burger, is it?
That is a good point.
Don't describe it as a meatless beef burger, you have to call it a vegetarian burger. I mean, that's a stretch for me. But there was a brand that was trying to go on, and they had meatless bacon. Like, what on earth possessed them? And then when they went bankrupt, I think it was because no one was buying it. Well, we think the world's not being very fair. They should try it. But we don't want bacon that isn't bacon. It's missold. Just call it plant produce that is pretending to look the same shape and colour of actual bacon without actually having any of the joy of bacon in it.
Although, in some ways, I think actually I heard of a company that made this scientifically lab-grown meat, which means it's artificial. It's not even from veg.
Right.
I have no idea how they do it. I don't want to know how they do it.
That's not a pleasant thought.
And apparently it will taste just like meat and look like meat, but without being actual meat, and it won't have any veg in it. So it's probably...
So it's not meat then?
No.
Because meat comes from animals.
Yes.
If it comes from a plant, it's not meat. By the very definition of basic biology, it's not the same thing.
It doesn't work.
If you don't like bacon and sausage, absolutely fine. If you don't want to have a beef burger, go for it. Go for something different. It's fine. But what is this obsession of taking something and pretending it's something else when everybody knows it's not? We've seen it in all sorts of life, all over the place, and it drives me nuts. It either is or it isn't. If it's a bacon butty, that means it's a bacon. It means it's come from a pig, okay? We have pigs next door. It's from a pig. Now, I would think it was unfair to the pigs if we started making things that say bacon that aren't.
Yes.
But meatless bacon.
What do you think the bacon's going to...
No meat bacon. Yeah. It's not bacon.
What do you think the pig's going to say? I worked hard to have bacon
I know,
at the end of
exactly.
my
The
life.
pigs are working really hard to help us have bacon butties. And then you come along and say, yeah, we're not going to have bacon, but it'll pretend to look like bacon, but it's really not.
But also...
I don't understand. Yeah. Peter, I don't think this is an age thing. I don't think I'm getting older and it's weird. I think this is just stupid.
Well, I agree, because it's sort of like if you're someone who enjoys meat and you're happy to eat it, you're not going to want to eat something called meat that isn't. And if you're a vegetarian, you're not going to want to eat something that's pretending to be meat.
No, because I never once had any interest in the stuff in the supermarket that was meat-free bacon. Because it's not bacon, it's plant.
And if it's not bacon...
It should be in next to the lettuce.
But if it's not bacon, what does it come from? Like bacon, you know it comes from a pig.
Plant.
What kind of plants? And what do they do to it to make it look like a bacon?
I love the fact that
worries
beef
me.
burger comes from the most vegan animal ever. The cow, what does it eat? Grass. What does it produce? Beef burgers. So basically, vegetarians make meat.
Yes, they do.
They do. Or at least cows do. Do you know, it's past. We haven't even got to the thankful things yet.
Well, no, I did a thank you, but you've been procrastinating.
Not procrastinating, just inspired to think about other things.
Yes, you've been tangenting.
We have a fly in the room. That'll be fun. Right. So I was asking Jill earlier, Jill Sleebush on Facebook, who said she was thankful that her youngest grandson is coming over for a sleepover. So I said, how old is he? Apparently the grandson's 8. I think 8 is a fantastic age in a lad. They're sort of getting a bit stronger, they're getting a bit adventurous, a bit crazy, but they're still sort of sensible enough, kinda, that it's just brilliant fun. I love 8-year-olds, they're absolutely fantastic. And I really hope you have a fantastic sleepover with your 8-year-old grandson, Jill. I think you're going to have a brilliant time. 8 is a good age.
Yeah.
I really believe that. Okay, right, let's get on to things we're thankful for. You've done your first.
I've done my first. On to your first.
So my thing that I'm thankful for, really, really simply right now, is a little fan just off to my right, which you can't see, blowing cool air at me.
Oh, that is good, especially in the summer when it's hot and when you're doing a live video, and you've got the curtains closed and the windows mostly closed. That is very helpful.
Yes. And it's not a big powerful thing. It's just plugged into a USB socket and it's just a little bit of a trickle air, but it's just nice to have a little bit of movement of air over me. Really dead simple thing I'm thankful for. A tiny little USB fan that we nicked, reappropriated from Joe's desk.
Repurposed, borrowed.
We repurposed it. That was it. I mean, she hadn't finished purposing it, but anyway, we've repurposed it.
And it's not like we're stopping her from using it, because she does radio. She gets to use it.
She can sit and enjoy the glorious nature in which we've made it so that she can't take it away.
Yeah, but...
So now, in spite, she's nicked my USB-powered fan on a little like flexible neck thing, and then it rattles away all day long. She just sits there, happy, causing grief because we nicked her USB fan. I think we should probably borrow another one.
Yeah, probably should make amends.
Repurpose something she hadn't finished purposing.
That is a good
Is
point.
that English?
I think
Let's go with that being English.
Okay.
So I've done 33% of mine. We have done 33% of ours, which is why it makes no sense, because the next thing you're going to go is jump up to not 50%, even though it's your second out of 3. And anyway, so Peter, what second thing are you thankful for?
Second thing that I am thankful for hot chocolate and chat every Friday.
It's a good thing.
Mm.
Honestly, I keep on saying this. I always go on about it, but it's really important. It is so important to be thankful.
Yes,
It
is.
changes everything. It changes your entire outlook on life and the world. The world is a crazy messed up place. Do you know what? You can still be thankful. Water in the tap. I went to wash my hands earlier. I turned the tap and water came on.
That is
It
good.
is a simple thing to be thankful for.
Mm. But, sometimes it is useful to be a bit glass half full kind of person, because sometimes it's good to be grateful that you have got a glass and it's half full.
Is it my go?
Yes, it's your go again.
I'm thankful that despite me asking my doctor never ever to ring me or text me, only to write to me in the post, that they ignored all of the instructions that we gave them in writing, I am thankful that I haven't lost the plot.
That is a good thing, actually.
After 10 minutes at the counter saying, don't text, don't phone, don't email, write to me. We have to have your details. Yes, we understand that, and we have no choice. And you wouldn't let us register without them. But don't use them. We have to give you them. I don't give you permission to use them. It's very frustrating. But the good thing is, I'm thankful I'm not getting cross.
That is a good thing.
Much.
It's a bit of a biblical thing. Don't shut your eyes on anger, or let the sun
Don't
go
let
down.
the sun go down.
Yeah,
on
don't
anger.
let the sun go down on your anger. Yeah, eyes is the wrong thing. But yeah, okay, you've done your second. I've done my second.
So we are 2 each out of 3, and I don't understand percentages. They're all broken.
We're 66.6%. Both of us individually 66.66 occurring percent of the way there, and together we are both 66.66% of the way there.
Fine. What's your third thing you're thankful for?
That was really complicated. We keep doing this, don't we?
I thought it was a simple thing. We just alternate, but the maths is broken.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm thankful, I think, for lots of cool new studies and stories, which are always fun and normally have got a flaw that we can really focus on.
I do like a new study.
Yeah.
I share this with Richard frequently. I live new studies that say things like, man discovers that when he drops a hammer on his toe when he's not wearing anything but flip-flops, it hurts.
It is like that, though.
Those are the sorts of things that I really enjoy. Daughter discovers that mother in a rage brushing her hair will cause pain. It's those sorts of things that, well, yes, we knew that.
But what's always funny, though, in the new studies, when they say experts discover this, experts discover that when melting cheese, you should go for grated.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me, somebody's paid them to do that.
Yeah.
The fact they've done that, commissioned that new study, such and such a university, so-and-so college, this government, they've paid for this thing, and they've spent millions and squillions and trillions of pounds to discover something we already knew, that everybody knew, we already knew, that somehow you didn't know, but thought we wouldn't know, that we did know, that even you knew we knew, but now you've got paid for telling us the very thing that we didn't care about in the first place.
Yeah, but although you do need to think, though, if they're
That made sense.
Yeah, well, sure. One of the things, though, is I suppose, actually, if you're doing an experiment, grated cheese or sliced cheese, you need to buy cheeses, different cheeses, because it could vary. You need a microwave, possibly a grill.
Do you think that particular study was funded by cheesemakers?
That is possible, actually. I don't know if I could.
New study reveals that you might want to decide you want grated cheese or sliced cheese. Better go out and buy some cheese then. There was a particular role in a supermarket chain, I've forgotten which one, so it doesn't really matter. But one of them had someone whose job was to watch cooking programs and to try and get advanced viewings of said programs if they weren't live. Because, for example, your local supermarket, everybody in your area watches a thing and it's going to be making, I don't know, a rhubarb crumble. Then everybody dashes out for cooking butter, glass jars, and rhubarb and sugar. And the supermarket likes to be ahead of that. So when you come to the supermarket, you don't go to an empty shelf. They try and buy more in. So it's quite logical, quite sensible. But I always think, that's a hiding to nothing, isn't it? Because you got them live programs, live cooking shows. And you could just see the supermarket. Yeah, I've just bought 10 million tons of rhubarb. Yeah, they've gone off summer fruits now. No.
You wouldn't want it to change, or perhaps you get a future viewing of something that's going to go out of a cooking show, and then it gets cancelled for something else.
Oh, wouldn't that be terrible?
Yeah, like you've just got all
We
the
had to
ingredients
cancel
in.
it because there was an accident. So what we did was we got rid of it. We're going to do this instead, and the supermarkets are now rammed full of the foods that no one's going to buy.
Yeah, rammed full, I don't know, of beef or something like that, minced meat, and it's like, oh no, everyone's going to do vegetarian meals. It's like, oh no. Well,
No. I mean, if you want to do yourself a veggie meal, you go for it. I'm happy to have the beef and the meat, chicken, sausage, bacon. I'm happy to eat it on your behalf. It's absolutely no strain whatsoever.
although
I'm
perhaps
okay with that.
you could rebrand meat as veggie meat, because if it's like beef,
Made by vegetarians.
yeah, ooh,
Beef burgers made by vegetarians.
see, that's good marketing.
Because cows only eat grass, you see, so they're veggies.
And also, at the same time, they improve the soil by processing the grass.
Honestly,
Basically.
cows are brilliant.
Yeah.
God was completely amazing when he made cows, because cows use almost no water. They eat something that is in massively plentiful supply that we can't possibly hope to digest. They create so much meat and food for us to eat, which is really good stuff. It's full of protein and all sorts of nutrition and stuff. And then as they're eating the grass that we can't, they self-fertilize the soil.
Yes, and they trample
It's
it down.
just brilliant,
And at the same time, they produce milk.
which we all need.
Yeah, and you can have them in pretty much any part of the world.
Yes, you can.
Although you might want a different breed if different parts of the world, though.
Also, if you've got a cow in the North Pole, it needs some feet. It might get
Probably.
cold. And a little hat.
Yeah,
Maybe a tail warmer.
tail warmer.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Tail
Like a little
warmer.
heated blanket so it doesn't get a little too cold. Some special sunglasses on the cow's face so it doesn't have the snow coming in.
Possibly, although actually,
And
perhaps.
could it find grass in the snow?
Mm,
I mean, the grass will stand out against the snow, but it'll probably be frozen.
wouldn't it be like a grass lollies or something?
I don't know. Grass lolly.
Um,
People seem to think that I talk nonsense, but I think you are making quite a run for it yourself.
no, I'm just following
We're
your
now
example.
thinking about producing cow for for the cows of yesteryear and tomorrow. You want to make a grassicle, a grass lolly.
Well, it could be good marketing though. I'm sure it could get very popular with cows.
You could have like a salt outer layer, so they're getting the salt lick at the same time, and then they get a little bit of grass that's frozen. They can suck on that. They got a sore tongue or a sore mouth. They could suck on the grassicle, couldn't they?
You could have
It's like a
salted.
popsicle, but grass.
You could have salted grass and daisies.
Yeah, it's like a salted caramel burger
Yeah.
for cows. That might be going the wrong way.
No.
Right, is it your thing to be thankful for?
Yes, I think it's my third thing to be thankful for now.
1, 2, 3. Yes, it is.
Okay. Right, the third thing that I'm thankful for, I would say actually I'm thankful for lots of sunshine, but I'm thankful that today it's cooler, which is good.
It is nice and cooler. I'm looking forward to the end of this live stream only because it's hot.
Yeah.
We haven't turned the aircon on, which perhaps we should have done. And the windows are sort of mostly closed.
Yes, unfortunately, because it's quite breezy outside.
And we have studio lights in the studio.
Yes, and multiple computers
3 computers.
and monitors, which
And
produce a
3
lot of
phones.
heat.
2 monitors. 3 monitors.
Yep.
Right.
And cameras.
I've completely lost my train of thought. I had a thing to be thankful for, which I thought was quite clever, and I've forgotten now.
Okay.
What was your thing?
What was I thankful for? I was thankful for slightly cooler weather today, and also sunshine.
I'm thankful for the random nonsense that comes out of your mouth sometimes. It's hilarious, good fun.
I'm just following your example. You did it first.
Because today we've now discovered that you want to make grassicles for cows.
Well,
Like a popsicle or an ice lolly, but made of grass, with a little salt outer layer for the cows of your dream.
but you can also say 100% organic on the packaging.
We've also discovered that cows make meat. So what we're actually saying is burgers made by vegetarians.
Yes.
Now there's a slogan I haven't seen used yet.
I haven't seen that slogan
No,
either.
on your quarter pounder. You see those at the supermarket, made by vegetarians, just for you.
Although it might sound a bit bad, made by vegetarians. What do they mean? You might need to be specific that those vegetarians are cows.
Yeah, gazanias are made with vegetarians, and that's like a whole different thing, and that's not good.
No,
Because
no,
that
not.
could have all sorts of connotations that we don't want to think about. Is that 3 for 3 now?
Yes, that's
Have I
3 for
done my
3.
third thing?
You've done your third thing, yes.
Listening to you ramble on is just gold.
Mm-hmm.
Utter nonsense. Right, so we're going to move straight on because it's 20 to 5. New studies.
Yes.
That's what we're moving on to, because we've now done 100% of our 3 things we're each thankful for, which creates 6, which is 100%, as opposed to your 3 and my 2, which collectively is not 100%, but it's your 100%, and it's my 66 and a bit percent.
So, new studies, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Please, move me on.
Okay, so now we've only actually got one new study. Do you want to go straight on to the new study?
Yes.
Okay, so this one, what is this? Ah, right. This new
I don't
study.
know, Peter, because I can't see what you're looking at. So what's this? Doesn't really help me much.
Okay, so this new
Just saying.
this new study actually is to do with the current dream house, apparently.
Okay.
Now, what people are dreaming of as of houses. Now, this, I'm not sure what country of people this was done on, because depending what part of the world you're in, you might dream of something different. If you're in a hot country, you might dream of a house that's in a cold part of the world. If you're in a cold part of the world, you might want a house that's nice and tropical and lots of beaches and stuff, you know.
There are
It can
people that like
depend.
to have 2 homes, one in the cold, one in the hot, or Vicky Verky.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa. That's talking JoJo language.
Yes. So now this is kind of interesting. Of the dream house, apparently, the dream house today is a 4-bedroomed house near the seaside, sort of tropical, nice and warmish. So if you're in the UK, probably like very far south of the UK, or places I don't know, like Hawaii,
Eastbourne,
Eastbourne, yeah, you'd be
Southampton,
Southampton.
Plymouth.
Basically, it's
They're on the south coast.
I think the only place basically warm in the UK is if you go right down to the bottom. The rest of it's all icy cold most of the time.
Well, warmer than the UK would be sort of within Great Britain, which is the Channel Islands, because they're sort of kind of in England
Yeah.
in a not way.
Although, what's that?
They speak English.
Yeah. Although, what's that small bit of land?
Mind you, on that one, you could say Australia is south.
Well-
It's a southern tip of the UK, which I suppose it actually was at one point.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on.
Okay. Although, yeah. Okay. So this new study is all about the dream house, and apparently there's some details of what the dream house would be. Apparently, there would be plenty of wood, glass, and there would be a 2-car garage.
Wood for the fire or wood on the walls?
It doesn't specify. I think it's saying wooden floors is
Okay.
what's quite popular, apparently, and lots of glass. Now, I'm not sure. What does it mean by glass? Do you mean glass windows?
We assume glass walls
Glass? Yeah, that's a good point,
of
actually.
some sort. I mean, a glass wall is a window, isn't it? If it opens, it's a window, but you can have glass walls.
Yeah, I've seen how
That's sort of
something
cool.
like that. A 2-car garage. That does sound quite good.
Does that mean 2-car garage with 2 cars?
I think
Or just a 2-car garage?
I think a garage big enough for 2 cars, not necessarily with 2 cars. Because if you've got 1 car and a 2-car garage, there's plenty of space to fit in your bikes as well, and any tools for your
Yep.
car. Yeah.
Yep. Got
So that apparently is the dream house. Apparently, a open planned kitchen is one of those. We have that actually, which is nice.
that. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really, because there's a big wall in the middle. I'm saying yes, but no, not really.
Well, technically, the kitchen isn't open plan, but we got the dining room. We fit the dining room and the kitchen together.
Only because we've used the dining room as a studio.
That's true. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
our studio too, we do lots of recording there and audio stuff. And it's also where the offices are based.
Yes. So yeah, apparently that is the dream house. Open plan kitchen. Apparently, lots of aluminium things. Aluminium decorations, like an aluminium fridge. Apparently.
Aluminium things.
Yeah, it doesn't really go very specifically into what that is. Apparently, using aluminium is a popular decorative metal.
Step ladders, I mean, they're aluminium.
Yeah. Oh, so you could have.
Aircraft parts, they're aluminium.
Yeah. So this is.
Are we
why-
talking military grade aluminium? Surgical kitchen steel? Aluminium? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Oh yeah, this is my collection of aluminium doctor tools and stuff.
We could have like a collect, like you have paintings on the wall. You could have step ladders of different sizes. Here's me 1 step, me 2 step, me 3 step, and it all goes all the way up to a 20 step ladder,
Yeah.
just in case you want to go outside.
Oh yeah, you could have your outdoor ladder. It could be in the centre of the garden. It's
You
my
could have like a
main
whole
piece.
display. You could put them like slightly askew to make them look artistic, and hang things off them. because that's aluminium. This is why I don't like a new study, okay? Because it talks utter nonsense and it doesn't give you the entire picture.
To be honest, I don't know if I'd want to have a dream house by the seaside and very hot. I'm not sure.
How near the seaside?
That
And which bit to the seaside? Because some bits of the seaside are sort of, they're getting closer to the sea.
that is a good point. I think most parts of the world, the sea is sort of getting closer and closer to the land.
Well, it's the land erodes into the sea. That's quite normal and quite common. It's nothing, weird or odd or brand new.
Yeah.
It's what happens.
You don't really want to wake up one morning in your house and you find that one part of your wall's missing and the sea's sort of spraying up into your bedroom. You don't want that, really.
Not really. That would not be a pleasant look.
No.
And that's what I mean. The study doesn't give us much detail. Not enough detail at all.
Oh, here's a detail.
Go on.
Apparently, the usual house, specifically the house which you would live in, on average, the size would be like squared is 2,756 square feet.
Okay.
That is how much space it would take up, and that's quite a lot actually. That's 2 mountains height, because it has to be at least 1,000 feet.
Okay.
That's quite a lot of space. Although no, squared. I don't know. That apparently is people's dream houses.
A square feet isn't a feet of length.
No.
It's
Yeah, I got that
space,
wrong.
and it gets complicated.
Apparently.
I don't know how true that is. I think some people like the idea of living by the sea, but living by the sea means you get stones through your windows.
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
Do they mean within a 10-minute walk of the seaside? That's a whole other thing. But again, it's a very, very incomplete study. It's not giving us all the information.
Close to the seaside. So I'm guessing basically what it's saying is people want to live in a tropical area with lots of trees you might think of in hot places.
Yeah, I mean, that's more indicative of the environment, not the actual house, but I get that. Also, usually seaside places, there's not a lot of commerce or retail unless it's a summer. And then you've got issues with supermarkets that don't exist really unless there's certain times of year. You can be quite isolated, which can be a good thing. I'd be very happy by the seaside. I'd be very happy in a lighthouse in the middle of the sea. Do you know why? No cold callers.
Oh, that's a good point. Not unless you've got a neighbour who also lives on a yacht, on a lighthouse, and they take their boat back and forth.
Well, there's
say
that.
hello. Now that would be annoying. You go into the middle of the ocean for quiet and your own space, and then you've got this neighbour who also owns a lighthouse, and they keep coming back and forth to you.
Yeah.
That could get annoying. But yeah. Or you could actually, though, if you could see them in your lighthouse, try and do light signals to communicate with them. That could be cool.
I see a flaw with your plan.
Oh yes.
Well, if the lighthouse is meant to warn people to rocks, and you're using the lighthouses to talk like semaphore, Morse code, isn't there a bit of an issue with like crashy things happening?
Or just, if people see the flashing light, they'll just know to avoid anyway.
I can't even say that was a good idea because that's not a good idea.
Oh yeah. Well,
Walkie-talkies, Morse code, anything, smoke, but not lights, not lighthouses like signalling each other. That would be bad.
I don't know. It could work.
Also, you don't generally get lighthouses that close to each other
No, not really.
because that would be a waste.
I mean, it'd be cool though. I'm just
It's a
saying.
good story, this one.
Yeah. So that is the new study. Basically, people's dream houses, which it can vary for most people, but this is the average kind of dream that people are saying. Most people are saying these certain details. Now, do you want another story?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I do, but we're running out of time.
Okay.
So I thought we'd go to some music instead.
Oh, right.
So do you want to give me one more thing that you're thankful for today?
Okay. Well, I'd say I'm thankful for a new study about people's dream houses and how undetailed it is so that we can have fun.
It's very unsatisfying.
Although
A house near the sea, what does that mean? Give us it in meters, feet, miles, yards. Can you see the sea? Can you hear the sea? I mean, we live near the sea and we're nowhere near the sea, but we're nearer to the sea than someone else, so we're near the sea.
Yeah, but they're saying a beach house aesthetic. So, if you're in the middle of as far inland as possible, you don't really want to be in a sea-like house. If you're in the middle of these mountains,
No.
that wouldn't really work. But apparently people want a walk-in closet, wardrobe kind of
Why
thing.
would you want to walk into your closet?
Well, no,
Why not open the door?
well, no,
What is this, Narnia?
a closet.
That's a walk-in closet. Look what happened to them.
Yeah.
That wasn't so good for everybody, was it, when they walked in?
Yeah, well, it worked. at the
Walk-in
end.
closets are not everything you think of.
No, basically what they're saying is a closet big enough that you could
The
walk
one for Narnia was.
it works into another world. That's actually a good space saver. You have a door, it leads you to another world, and that's your garden.
See, well, there are some advantages to that.
Oh, yes.
There are some advantages because you'd have no problem with storing stuff. You just walk into the other world. There is a small issue of someone nicking your stuff.
Mm.
And then they can break into your house and take your stuff back to the other world and then close the door and you can't get it back.
Oh, yeah. Or they could steal the wardrobe, which means you can't get to all your stuff.
Yeah.
Although, what if they stole the wardrobe not knowing how it worked, and so they'd just be using the wardrobe to hang their clothes, and all your stuff's in there?
It could go wrong, couldn't it?
Although, I've never heard of a burglary for a wardrobe.
A what?
I've never heard of someone stealing a wardrobe.
I'm certain it's happened.
Well, I mean, like going to a house and stealing it.
People have stolen cranes off the back of trucks. I know they have because one of the truck firms I used to work for many moons ago. They had a crane stolen off the back of a lorry.
Wow.
And when I say off the back of a lorry, it was actually welded on and part of the lorry, and they cut it off, and no one heard a thing.
But the only way to get that off is with a crane to pick up the crane. So why did they... okay. Yeah.
Cranes are worth a lot of money.
Okay.
Anyway, right. Thank you, Peter. Would you like to say goodbye and tell us when you're back on air?
Okay, I will be back on air on the Energize Show Wednesday, 6 till 8, getting us energized and ready to face the rest of the week.
That'll be the 9th of July.
Yes, it will.
And I'll be back on air after the news.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going anywhere. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Right, thank you on Facebook and YouTube for listening. And we'll be back for more of the same next week, for more nonsense and rubbish about stuff. Sunday from 4 o'clock, myself and my JoJo. We'll be on from 3 to 6. From 4 o'clock, we'll be live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can join us online then as well. For now, we're going to say goodbye to you. Goodbye from Peter.
Goodbye. Thank you for joining us.
And goodbye from me. I cut you off then. Do you want to get that again?
Oh, goodbye. Thank you for joining us. And cut.
Ah, there we are. Right, and yes, thank you. We'll be back next week for more, but stick around for the news and other stuff. And I've lost my button.